Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So in front of you is a CZ Scorpion. Now this is an Evo 3S1. So they've been in the country for quite a long time now. They come in a pistol format, and then I've added a bunch of stuff. You've seen this in the past on different reviews, different installations. What I want to do today was, in the year 2022, what do I think are some of the best products out there for the CZ Scorpion currently? How I kind of set mine up and really kind of dialed it in. So from top here, right at the end, this is a suppressor. All right, so this is a rugged Obsidian 9. All right, you can either do it in this long configuration like this right here, or if you want to shorten it down to a shorter configuration, it loses about 3 inches off there, which is better for maybe a home defense scenario where you want to take the edge off of that loud bang, but you want to have still a very short, compact package here with the CZ Scorpion. Now this is all on a tri-lug right here from Rugged Obsidian, 1/2 by 28. You can see that right there. Works great. I mean, tri-lugs are vastly superior to a direct thread. I mean, direct thread just has the risk of kind of coming off, backing off a bit when you shoot it. And of course, with the Scorpion, you really want to throw a lot of rounds down in a short amount of time because that's what it's really designed for. It's a very fun little 9mm. All right, so going back up here, we do have an HB Industries 6.84 flat handguard. See that right there? Very nice upgrade from the old Picatinny laced handguard that they had on here. I mean, it doesn't look as Scorpion, like kind of edgy as the front used to look, but with this flat one, with this HB Industries, you have all those M-LOK slots on there, which bodes well because over here, we have a Streamlight ProTac. I believe it's the rail mount 1. So it's right here. It's one of the smaller ones, like 350 lumens, but it can link up to an Arisaka right here. So this right here is the Arisaka inline Scout mount. Now the reason why I went with that configuration is because when you place your hand in this Magpul hand stop kit, which is right over here, you can go and rest your thumb up here while still having complete grip on pulling back or pushing forward if you need a hand stop in there. And then you can just go and slide your thumb over to activate the light. Double tap strobe, click it, momentary. Of course, there are plenty of options for lights out there. You can go much more expensive. Just wouldn't recommend going cheaper than maybe a Streamlight because we know Streamlights are good, they're reliable, they work really well for their price point, but you can definitely go higher if you want to go with like a Surefire or something. Charging handles over here. See the original, I swapped over to the right side. Little guy right there. It was just kind of small. Works great either side, you can pull it back. But this one right here is an extended charging handle right there. All right, that's the HB Industries Pro Stock charging handle. A little bit more real estate for you right there. Already talked about the Magpul hand stop in there. I mean, the hand stop is great. It's an M-LOK accessory, mounts right to the bottom, or if you want to do the side or something wonky there, you can, but it's a multi-piece design, so you can kind of use it as you need. You can buy it just for this larger piece here or just run the small piece. Whatever you decide, it works really well, and I have it on several of my firearms, and I definitely think it's one of the better options. Got a little bit of grip on there, and it allows you to get that hand placement in there oh so nicely, where you can have plenty of force to pull back, or you also have that stopping for pushing forward. And then speaking of Magpul, we have another Magpul accessory right up here. This is their RSA Sling mount. Right here, it is a QD mount. You can see that right there. And then for a sling, you can do any sling you really want. I go for a 2-point design. This right here I think is a War Machine. Yeah, it's one of the War Machines. I think I got it in like a tack pack at one point. But what's cool about it is you have a couple of these QDs in here. Insert the QD. It has 4 different positions you can lock it in so it doesn't pivot all the way around, doesn't spin around a lot. You can lock it like this, and then you want to run the rest into your tail hook, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, and wrap it around the end here and place it in. Just like that, and then your sling kind of rests on the back of the tail hook. And now you have a 2-point sling that works really well. And honestly, you can probably just keep that on there as you're bumping the night gun, because that is going to help you with slinging it if you need to. Kind of keep it on there if you need to switch to a handgun or something. So that is the Magpul RSA. A couple more HB Industry products here. This is their duckbill. All right, duckbill, because it looks like a duck, right? So duckbill mag release here, an extended mag release. You can grab your mags, and then you can just go and yank them out with that duckbill. Let's grab one that drops better. Some of those PSAs don't drop very well. You can kind of see that there, or you can push and it comes out like so. Moving on down, you have the HB Industries right here in red, the Theta trigger. It is just a trigger shoe that you slap on there. But inside this trigger mechanism here, I also installed the HB Industries reduced weight spring kit. Haven't had any issues at all. The only thing that I've noticed after running this for a good few years now is, see if I can show you. So you pull back. You know, it's got a terrible trigger to begin with, but the reduced spring weight helps a little bit. But then watch this catch here. So you got to really let it go all the way back, and sometimes it gets a little sticky. So sometimes it has a little bit of stickiness going on there where you really want to like let your finger off a little bit more to make sure that it seats back into place and resets properly. But that's the only thing I kind of noticed with that spring kit. Over here we have the HB Industries mini AK style selector throw lever. Very cool. Basically, if this is blocking, you can feel it with your finger. You're on safe. Flip it up. You're ready to go. Very nice. Other side, just your traditional safety selector right there. And the reason I went with that is because the famously known little sticking point here for the safety selector came on this being ambi. When they came in to the US for market, they had them where they were just jabbing into that top part of your finger. So you had to do something to clean that up. People just filed it off. You can do that kind of cheap way, but this, for a little bit of money, you can go and get something kind of neat that you can manipulate with your finger here, and that's just kind of nice, and then still retain your ability to work with the other original selector there. Magpul CZ Scorpion grip. Only thing I don't like about it is there is no storage or anything. It's not, I mean, it's kind of just two pieces of plastic bolted together, bolted onto the Scorpion. That being said, it's very comfortable, no issues at all. I think the texture is great. It's a good angle, way better than that real nice slant angle that the original grip had on there. And I got it to seat nice and flush with everything. No problems with that at all. Primary arms up top, the ACSS Cyclops, their Gen 2 Prism. So this allows to glow the ACSS reticle. You can turn the knob on the side here and make that etched reticle glow a nice red. And honestly, I just leave it off pretty much the entire time because that black etched reticle comes out perfectly in the daytime, and it comes out really well with a nice white light when you click one of these on here. And if you look through this, all right, you have your, it's a little bit larger than the original Cyclops too, which is good. I got to do a review on this because it is one of my favorite optics right now. But you have the horseshoe, and then you have the ACSS kind of chevron tip in the middle. But that horseshoe with this 9 at the distance you might need to use it for home defense is perfect. Just put the horseshoe on something and away you go. So awesome optic, no issues at all. It's been running great. I didn't do a full review on it. A couple more things, we'll wrap this up. So here is the Gearhead Works. Right, this is a CZ Scorpion stock with an adapter on it to take a tail hook Mod 1. All right, so the Mod 1 is pretty cool because it does open up for a nice brace for your hand. This one is flipped around, and you can do that. You can flip them back and forth, but the reason why I flipped it around was to get the QD on the right like you saw, to get that sling around the back. Folding brace, it shoots with the brace folded, no issues at all. Still love it. There's lots of options with the Scorpion out there, and this is still my favorite. I think it looks nice and it just functions. I wish there was like a quick release on here. They probably have some new products out that might fix that. Would have been nice, instead of having an actual pin to run through, you can adjust this on the fly a little bit. But other than that, I mean, I just leave it in this position right here. Works fine. solid brace setup, and honestly that Mod 1 tail hook still works great. I mean, it is flat, not the most comfortable thing in the world. However, for a 9mm like this with a low recoil, it works just fine. Other thing is magazines. You have your Gen 1 here. Mine do have some cracks in them on the feed lips. That is something that has been addressed in the past. You have your Gen 1 right here. All right, and then also you have the CZ Scorpion, kind of like the Gen 2. It's the black windowed mags. These are still awesome. I haven't had any issues at all, no cracking, no problems with any kind of feeding or anything like that. PSA, AKV mags, CZ Scorpion mags, they work great as well. A little sticky sometimes depending on the fitment, but these are real cheap. And also the Magpul mags, did a full review of those Magpul mags. They're amazing. Only ones I don't recommend, I don't think, would be the Gen 1 because of the cracked feed lips, and then the Manticore arms, which I'm pretty sure I ended up throwing them all the way because they just kept jamming constantly. So that kind of tells the story of how I got from just the pistol configuration, testing out things like a pressure switch for the light. Originally I had a pressure switch up here because you can kind of reach around a little bit, but I found it kind of cumbersome, and then if you want the extended charging handle and how this weapon is designed, you can't really get up there very well. So I went ahead and did a M-lock section right here, up top here, like right behind the light, with a switch, which worked okay. But what I found was, and you could have also done it over here too, what I found was if you put the light over here, put a switch over here, you know, you're kind of pushing the actual Scorpion around a little bit. And what's so easy, and something that is just kind of goes back to the basics of how we operate these lights on the weapons, is actually the just push tail cap. Because how this is set up is you can rest your finger right on the Arasaka mount, and you can go and just move your thumb when you want to use this light. And it does move it a little bit, but not as much as moving and pushing a pressure pad and trying to lock it in and maybe even drifting off your shot and stuff like that. So I think just a simple Arasaka mount with either one of these stream lights or a Surefire or something just on there with the tail cap, rubberized tail cap, have some spare batteries, of course, lying around somewhere, and you're good to go. And that also gives you a nice light throw right there. A little bit of the suppressor shadow right there, but overall nice white light. And it doesn't kind of oversaturate the area too, like some of those 1,000 lumen lights on there. That's another thing. For such a small package where you're gonna be using it indoors if you had to, if you're setting it up like that, maybe one of the lights like the stream lights that are a little bit less lumens might be the way to go. So, well, thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you got some ideas on here. You can kind of take away and maybe look to see if you want to implement those in your own build, but that's kind of why I wanted to show you what I've done and what I've tested out the last couple of years. So if you have any questions at all, be sure to hit them in the comments below. I'll be happy to answer them. As always, subscribe to the channel, hit that thumbs up, really helps me out. Head over to Instagram, follow me there, like us on Facebook for all the latest and greatest deals on the internet. And I'll see you guys in the next review. Still one of my favorites. Love this thing.